Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of the Real Housewives of New York City, Season 10, Episode 11, Faux Weddings and a Funeral. Well, the episode opens up with some very sad music and we see Dorinda and Ramona in a car talking, and they are on their way to the funeral of Bobby Zarin, Jill's husband. Ramona was telling Dorinda that she went and visited Bobby in the hospital and that she and Jill made up, they patched things up, realized what was important in life, and they talked for like 45 minutes and they cried and they had it all out and they're good now. Then she goes on to say, but Bethenny and Jill haven't spoken to each other in 6 years. And Dorinda said, really? 6 years? And she goes, yeah, so I don't know if she's going to come today. Cut over to Bethenny, who is on her way to the funeral. And she tells us that Sonia called her while she was in Aspen on vacation and told her that Bobby died. And I guess she just, took a private plane and headed right back home for it. And we get a little flashback to 2010 when Jill and Bethenny pretty much ended their friendship. Side note, Bethenny is in the car with some other man. Did Kevin quit? Did he just finally throw in the towel and say, this is enough? This is way more than I bargained for. I just wanted to drive this lady around. I don't want to weigh in on every one of her problems. Poor Kevin. So yeah, this is just some new dude there. I don't know who he is. And I don't think Bravo told us what his name was. Oh, driver. Excuse me, driver, what's your name? LuAnn would have gotten to the bottom of it. Okay, so I'm wondering where Sonia is, because Carole and Tinsley, I don't expect them to be going to the funeral because I don't think they know Jill and Bobby, but Sonia for sure does. So I'm kind of wondering why she's not headed over there too. All right, so now we see Bethenny coming out of the funeral home. She says, I was just gonna go in and pay my respects and leave and go home, but I feel compelled to talk to Jill. I don't know why, I don't know what's going on with me, but so she's kind of standing around and you see her sort of looking around for Jill. Anyway, Jill kind of walks up then. There's some friends around and then we see Jill walk up to her and Bethenny's like, I don't know why I'm here. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm here. Settle down, Bethenny. This woman just lost her husband. Just stop acting like you are wound so tight. Jill says, it's because Bobby's here, And she said, I'm so proud of you, Bethenny. Bobby was so proud of you, and I really am. Then Jill said, what am I going to do? I'm alone now. I've been with somebody since I was 20 years old. She gets teary, and then Bethenny gets teary, and she said, I know, it's okay. We're all alone. I'm alone too. Then she makes some weird joke that I feel came out of nowhere. Maybe I'm not in on some sort of an inside joke between the two of them, but she's like, where are the gift bags? How come there were no gift bags? This was a terrible funeral. Now, I know it sounds harsh, but I know for a fact that it was a joke. And it was clearly a joke that Jill understood because it actually made Jill laugh a little bit. And she said, yeah, I was going to pass out shot glasses to everybody. And so somehow they understood each other, although to the casual observer, that just seemed bizarre. And then even how it doesn't really seem to go anywhere. Jill gets whisked off into a car. Bethenny just kind of turns and walks the other way. That almost felt like it happened mid-sentence. It was strange. To the confession cam, Bethenny tells us that a few times during the service, people mentioned that Bobby never said no to Jill. Bethenny said the only time he ever said no to her was when our relationship broke up, and she asked him to fix it. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. You have to learn the lesson on your own. You were wrong. Okay. I'm not sure Bobby told Jill she was wrong and Bethenny was right, but this is Bethenny's interpretation. And then she said, but in the end he did fix it because it was his funeral. I guess she's saying that his death brought them back together. I don't know. It was a little morbid. In the car, LuAnn calls Bethenny. I I swear to God, LuAnn has been more chatty from rehab than any other time. I've never seen her call the ladies so much. Listen, LuAnn is a smart woman, and I think she is just trying to get her airtime while she's still stuck in rehab. Anyway, while Bethenny's in the car on the way back, LuAnn calls her and they're talking about it. So LuAnn and Bethenny are almost kind of crying a little bit over Bobby, and LuAnn says how sorry she is that she couldn't have been there today for Jill. And she said, but you know, I am glad that I'm here. I need to be here. I'm doing well. And then she tells Bethenny, do you know where I spent New Year's Eve? And Bethenny said no, and she said, in treatment with total strangers. I didn't know anybody. I was so scared, and her voice is cracking and she's getting upset, and Bethenny is compassionate and kind. I don't know where this Bethenny came from. She is actually crying for LuAnn, and she's saying, I know, I'm so sorry. That sounds like it was so lonely, and I'm so sorry. And we cut to the new driver, who looks like he may be reaching in his jacket for a gun. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying that he's probably thinking to himself, I get why Kevin needed some time off. This is a lot. So LuAnn and Bethenny exchange I love yous, and Lou is off to a yoga class. Next, we have Tinsley and Carole. They are at Tinsley's hotel apartment, and they're in towels heading down to the hammam. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had to look up what a hammam was. And the dictionary definition said that in Islamic countries, it was a communal bathhouse. So apparently they have one in this hotel. It's almost, I guess, maybe like a big sauna. It looks like it's all marble, stone, like benches. And anyway, the two of them start chatting, and Carole says, so how was it having Sonia as a house guest? Was she a big mess? She was probably messy. Did she leave the toothpaste cap off? And Tinsley's like, no, she was sweet, and I just want us to be friends again. And I'm thinking, are you going to tell her that she didn't even stay with you? You don't know if she left the toothpaste cap off the tube because you shoved her into the penthouse apartment. I know I'm making that sound like it's a bad thing, but I still maintain that Sonia wanted to bond like girlfriends. So I have like just a smidgen of empathy for her. Tinsley tells Carole that her mom Dale is coming to New York City for a visit. And she said, oh, she's probably gonna like wanna go ring shopping or something. Okay, just so you know, Tinsley is not engaged. So the look on Carole's face was a little petrified. And Tinsley's like, not that it's happening, but you know, just to prepare. Okay. We have a quick little scene of Ramona at her house in the Hamptons, and she is just gutting that place. They show a before picture of her kitchen, which looks like any after picture of a kitchen for any normal person. And the after picture is like everything's gone. It is down to the studs. Okay, the next scene is Dale arriving, and she's got Bambi, Tinsley's little chihuahua, in a Louis Vuitton bag, and she's heading into Tinsley's hotel apartment. Now, what follows with Tinsley and her mother Dale is so intense that I have 2.5 pages of notes just on Tinsley and her mom. We go deep into this mother-daughter relationship. Let me just say right now, it is an intensely codependent situation. First, they go downstairs to have a drink at the bar. Apparently, they have matching Chanel bags because Dale is bringing hers, and Tinsley said, oh, I'm not going to bring mine. That would just look too weird. They go down and they order drinks. They're laughing about how Dale likes a healthy pour. And then Dale said, well, I didn't have anything on the plane, unlike you, Tinsley. And Tinsley's like, what do you mean? And she said, well, I mean, last year, you know, you were drinking too much. Oh, Mama, not good. That was the wrong thing to say. And she's like, I'm sorry, but like that was a way for me to cope with what I was going through. Really, Mom? I mean, really, are we really gonna go there? You can tell Dale's like backpedaling like a son of a gun. No, I'm not going there. There's nowhere to go. Then she says, oh, this important piece of mail came for you in Palm Beach. It's about your eggs. As we know, Tinsley has frozen some eggs before they get too old. We now know that that was Dale's idea. So when she was 38 years old, she had some eggs frozen. So she got a letter from the fertility clinic saying she needs to pay if she wants to keep them frozen or do something with them because whatever, the contract was up. Maybe it was 5 years ago. Maybe she's 43. I don't know. So then the conversation turns to Christmas time, and Tinsley said, oh, I was so afraid you were going to say something to Scott's mom to embarrass me. I was just worried you were going to talk about babies or weddings or something like that. And then Dale goes, actually, I did do something bad. And Tinsley's like, what? Apparently something about babies did get brought up. Scott's mom said to him, you don't need to think about that yet. You've got plenty of time. And Dale goes, and I said, well, she doesn't. Oh, God, Dale. Tinsley is horrified and is now sort of dry heaving. And she's like, oh my God, Mom, what did you do? I said something like, well, if this isn't going to work, then you just better jump ship now. It was really pretty funny because I didn't realize they were on a boat. Tinsley goes, Mom, I'm going to throw up. Dale's like, it was actually pretty funny. I'm telling them to jump ship and they were on a boat. Like she's trying to get Tinsley to get the joke. It isn't that she doesn't get the joke, Dale. It's that you're pushing that Tinsley's old and needs to get married and have a baby now. Oh my God. Guys, see what I mean? It was so delicious. So as she's saying, actually, it's pretty funny, Tinsley's like, it's not funny. Why would you put pressure on my boyfriend? And she's getting real loud. And now Dale's trying to shush her because they are in a public place. And Tinsley's having a little fit. And then I do believe that Tinsley said, Jiminy Christmas, it's not funny. You guys, this just keeps getting better and better though. Because then Dale's like, all right. And then she said, now, this is something I was thinking about. Tinsley's like a petulant little child. And she's like, what? Like she doesn't want to listen to her mom, but she goes, now listen, this is just for fun, but I was just thinking, wouldn't it be fun to try on some wedding dresses? I'm thinking Tinsley's going to be mortified and put her mom on the next plane back to Palm Beach. I would be wrong, because then Tinsley looks at her and goes, actually, I was kind of hoping you would say that. Oh my God. I love you, Tinsley, and I love you, Dale. Now they are wedding dress shopping. Yeah. You guys, I can't remember the name of the place. I'm sure it's some high-end wedding boutique. The guy's very happy to see them, and probably until he realizes that Tinsley's not even engaged. But in any case, he gets them champagne and she's trying on these dresses and she looks beautiful and everything, of course, because she's a beautiful, beautiful girl. But forget Sonia, Tinsley and Dale are gray gardening it all up in her. From the wedding dress shopping without a groom, to the little tidbit we find out about Dale putting baby booties in Tinsley's Christmas stocking, to the matching Chanel handbags sitting on the bench, to the discussion of the frozen eggs and calling the fertility clinic while they are in this dress boutique. We've got a Gone Girl / single white females / Grey Gardens thing happening, and I am all in. I am all about it. I'm in hook, line, and sinker. Give me more. How about a spin-off with these two? I want Dale to have her own show. So as I said, she's calling the doctor from the fertility clinic while they are there, while she is still wearing one of the wedding dresses. The doctor at one point shows her a picture of her 7 eggs. If I could describe it to you, they look like 7 circles on a piece of paper. And Tinsley screamed. screamed in the store. Remember when she screamed when Scott surprised her? Yeah, it was one of those. And then she started crying. And then Dale wanted to see the circles. And then Dale started crying. Yeah. Yes, Tinsley was looking at her future children, all 7 of them, because if you are already looking at these unfertilized embryos as your children, how are you going to let any of them go? And don't get me wrong, they aren't just tearing up. These 2 women are bawling. I love it so much. Now Dale asks the doctor, "Doctor, do you think that Tinsley should come in and have more eggs frozen now?" And he said, "Yeah, I think that would be a great idea." Of course he does. Isn't that more money for him? So the conversation ends, and if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that Tinsley said to the doctor, "I love you," and then blew him a kiss. And I couldn't be happier that she did. I mean, that whole visit with Dale was just a delightful little unexpected gift. Next, Bethenny shows up at Sonia's townhouse, and she brings her some more skinny girl jeans, which I guess Sonia's already wearing, and she tells her, "I just came from Jill's house, and I brought Bryn, and it was the first time she got to meet Bryn, and it was very sweet." And according to Bethenny, Jill told her, "I apologize, I was wrong." Again, that's Bethenny's version, but it's possible. But of course, Bethenny made sure to tell us on camera that Jill said she was wrong. There was no other real point to that whole story. Next, we see Carole and Dorinda walking down the street, and they're heading into this gym called Con Body. So I guess the owner of the gym, his name is Kaz, he was in prison for 7 years, and then when he came out, he started this gym. Then Ramona showed up, and then Bethenny, then Sonia, and then Tinsley came a little bit later. But everybody is there, except for LuAnn, of course, who's still in rehab. But all the other ladies are there, and they're going to do this workout. When they first get there, everybody has to have a mug shot, and then I guess they get that as a gift when they leave. But they're doing this workout, and I guess it's pretty intense for some of the ladies. And afterward, Carole says to the owner, "What advice would you give to our friend if she ends up having to go to jail?" And this part was kind of funny. He said, "Is she darker?" They all looked like they didn't know what he meant, and he said, "Is she black?" And Bethenny goes, "Well, she was on Halloween." Now, as bad as Bethenny has been the last few years, she does come up with some good lines. Anyway, they're all sitting around talking about what they're going to do when LuAnn gets out, and I guess they've planned to go to a spa, and they're talking about, well, can we drink in front of her? And Dorinda said, well, I talked to her about that, and I said, if we go to dinner and some of us have a cocktail, is that going to bother you? And she said, oh, no. I don't expect you guys not to drink in front of me. So yeah, so that's the plan. And I will say this, everybody seemed like they were getting along. The whole time they were there, the workout and afterwards sitting around talking, everybody, even like Ramona and Bethenny, everybody seemed to be getting along fine. The final scene is back in Palm Beach, and LuAnn is getting out of rehab. So she gets in the car, and I guess she's heading to the airport, and she calls Dorinda. Oh, you know how I told you guys that I'm being like a Hawkeyes with looking at people's phones now when they show it on screen? On LuAnn's phone, she is called Dorinda, and at the top it says Dorinda, and then it's got something blurred out, like another name. What is it? Is it a nickname? Is it Dorinda's secret identity? You know I'm curious about those things, but the fact that they blurred it out on me makes me more intrigued than ever. 'Cause why? Is it like offensive? Is it something that you can't show on a PG-13 show? I don't know. If you guys know what that says, leave it in the comments. I am dying to know. So LuAnn is asking her, where are we going? And she said, well, we're going to go to this spa called the Mayflower. I think it's in Connecticut. Anyway, and LuAnn said, I just want to be close to home. I've been traveling, I've been to prison. I just want to go home. And on that note, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to Jill Informed if you haven't already. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and please leave a comment down below. I hope to see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of New York City. Bye-bye.